The shadows never sleep when the past refused to stay buried. Please comment right away. I'm glad to have you here. Follow my story until the end and comment the city you're watching from so I can see how far my story has reached. 6 months of peace. That's all they got. Mara should have known it wouldn't last. Peace never does when you've lived the kind of life she had. But she'd let herself believe. Let herself hope that maybe, just maybe, the nightmare was finally over. She was wrong. It started with a phone call. 3 a.m. The old hour. The dangerous hour. The time when ghosts come back to haunt you. Mara's phone buzzed on the nightstand. She reached for it in the darkness, careful not to wake Cole sleeping beside her. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Almost let it go to voicemail. But something in her gut twisted. A warning she'd learned to trust years ago. She slipped out of bed, walked to the bathroom, and answered. Hello. Silence. Just breathing on the other end. Who is this? Mara demanded. And then a voice. Young. Scared. Familiar in a way that made Mara's blood run cold. Is this Mara Castillo? Mara's hand tightened on the phone. Who's asking? My name is Lily, the girl said. I'm your sister. The world tilted. Mara braced herself against the bathroom sink. Her reflection stared back at her in the mirror, pale and shocked. I don't have a sister, Mara said. Yes, you do, Lily said. Our father, he had another family. Before he met your mom. He had me. And now I need your help. Mara sat on the bathroom floor, phone pressed to her ear, while Lily told her story. Their father, Thomas Bennett, had been married before, had a daughter, but when his criminal associates started threatening his family, he'd faked his death and disappeared. Started a new life. Met Mara's mother. Had Mara. He never told me about you, Lily said. Not until the end. He was dying. Cancer. And he called me, told me everything. About what he'd done. About the people he'd worked for. About you. When did he die? Mara asked. 2 months ago. Mara's throat tightened. She'd killed her father 17 years ago. Or so she thought. That's impossible, she whispered. I saw him. He was dead. That wasn't him, Lily said. That was Marcus. His brother. They looked identical. He took your father's place that night. Let himself die, so your father could escape. The room spun. Mara thought she might throw up. Why are you telling me this? She asked. Because they're coming for me, Lily said. The same people who came after you. They think I know where the rest of the evidence is. And I don't. But they won't believe me. I need help. Please. You're the only family I have left. Mara closed her eyes. Every instinct screamed at her to hang up, to walk away, to protect the life she'd finally built. But that voice on the phone, young, scared, alone, it was her voice. 17 years ago. Where are you? Mara asked. Mara didn't tell Cole. Not at first. She told herself it was to protect him. That he'd been through enough already. That dragging him back into danger wasn't fair. But the truth was simpler. She was afraid he'd leave. Because if everything Lily said was true, then Mara's entire life had been built on a lie. She'd killed an innocent man. Her father's brother. Someone who'd sacrificed himself to save his family. And Cole. Cole had stood by her because he believed her story. Believed she'd acted in self-defense. Believed she was the victim. What would he think when he learned the truth? So she lied. Told him she was going to visit an old friend. Would be gone for a few days. Nothing to worry about. Cole looked at her with those gray eyes that saw too much. You sure you're okay? He asked. I'm fine, Mara said, forcing a smile. Just need some time to clear my head. He didn't believe her. She could see it in his face. But he nodded, kissed her forehead, let her go. And with every mile she drove away from him, the guilt grew heavier. Lily was waiting at a bus station in a town 3 hours north. She was 19, thin, dark hair pulled back in a ponytail. And when Mara saw her face, she saw their father. The same sharp cheekbones, the same intense eyes. Mara, Lily stood up, uncertain. Yeah, Mara said, "It's me." They stared at each other for a long moment. Two strangers connected by blood and violence and secrets that should have stayed buried. "Thank you for coming," Lily said quietly. Mara nodded. "We should go. This place isn't safe." They drove to a motel, different from the one Mara and Cole had hidden in 6 months ago, but similar in all the ways that mattered. Cheap. Anonymous. The kind of place where no one asked questions. Once they were inside, Mara locked the door and turned to face her sister. "Tell me everything," she said, "from the beginning." Do you trust Lily? Yes or no? Comment below. Lily's story came out in pieces. Their father had lived under a new identity for 20 years, built a quiet life, married Lily's mother, tried to leave his past behind. But you can't run from the kind of people he'd worked for. Not forever. They found him 2 years ago, demanded he retrieve the evidence he'd hidden. The files Mara and Cole had turned over to the police were only part of it. There was more. Much more. He told them he destroyed it, Lily said. But they didn't believe him. They started threatening Mom, threatening me. So he made a plan. What kind of plan? He was going to fake his death again. Disappear. Led them away from us. Lily's voice cracked. But the cancer moved too fast. He didn't have time. So he called me, told me about you, said if anything happened, I should find you. Why me? Because you survived, Lily said simply. You fought back. You're strong. And he thought maybe you could protect me the way he couldn't. Mara's hands clenched into fists. Anger bubbled up, hot and fierce. He had no right to put this on me, she said. No right to drag you into my life. I know, Lily said, but I didn't have anywhere else to go. Mara looked at this girl, this sister she'd never known existed, and saw herself at 17. Scared. Alone. Running from monsters she couldn't fight. And she made a choice. Okay, Mara said, we'll figure this out. But first, I need to know everything. Every detail. Every name. Everything our father told you. Lily nodded, and she began to talk. Mara stayed away for 3 days. 3 days of digging through Lily's memories. 3 days of trying to piece together where their father might have hidden the rest of the evidence. 3 days of lying to Cole. On the 4th day, he showed up at the motel. Mara was in the bathroom when she heard the knock. She opened the door to find Cole standing there, jaw tight, eyes hard. Cole. Don't, he said. Don't lie to me again. He pushed past her into the room, saw Lily sitting on the bed, saw the papers spread out across the table. The maps. The notes. What's going on, Mara? He asked. Mara closed the door slowly. Her heart was pounding so hard she could feel it in her throat. This is Lily, she said. She's my sister. Cole turned to look at Lily, then back at Mara. Sister, you told me you didn't have any family. I didn't know, Mara said. She called me 4 days ago. She's in trouble. What kind of trouble? Mara hesitated, and in that hesitation, Cole saw everything. You're involved with those people again, he said. Aren't you? It's not like that. Then what is it like? Cole's voice rose. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you've been lying to me. Sneaking around. Putting yourself in danger. Again. I was trying to protect you. I don't need protection. Cole shouted. I need honesty. I need you to trust me. I do trust you. Then why am I finding out about this now? Why didn't you tell me the second she called? Mara's eyes filled with tears. Because I killed the wrong man, Cole. The man I thought was my father. He was innocent. He died, saving my father's life. And I murdered him. The words hung in the air like poison. Cole stared at her. And for the first time since they'd met, Mara couldn't read his expression. Say something, she whispered. I need a minute, Cole said, and he walked out. Lily touched Mara's arm. I'm sorry. This is my fault. No, Mara said, wiping her eyes. This is my fault. I should have told him from the beginning. He loves you, Lily said. Anyone can see that. Maybe love isn't enough. They sat in silence for a long time, and then the door opened. Cole walked back in. His face was pale, but his eyes were clear. Okay, he said. Tell me everything. They talked through the night. Mara told Cole everything Lily had shared. About their father's double life. About the evidence that was still missing. About the people who were hunting Lily. Cole listened without interrupting. And when Mara finished, he sat back and rubbed his face. This is insane, he said. I know. We should go to the police. We can't, Lily said. Not yet. The people looking for me, they have connections. Police. Judges. If we go to them now, we'll all end up dead. Then what do we do? Cole asked. Mara pulled out a map. We find the evidence first. Turn it all over at once. Make it public so they can't bury it. And you know where it is? I have an idea. She pointed to a location on the map. A small town near the Canadian border. My father owned a property there, under a fake name. Lily's mother didn't even know about it. It's the only place left that makes sense. Cole studied the map. That's a 2-day drive. I know. And you're sure about this? Mara looked at him. No, but it's the only shot we have. Cole was quiet for a long moment. Then he stood up. I'll drive, he said. Mara blinked. What? You heard me. I'll drive. But we do this together. No more secrets. No more lies. We're a team. Understood. Tears filled Mara's eyes again. But this time, they were different. Not tears of fear or guilt. Tears of gratitude. Understood, she whispered. Cole pulled her into his arms. Held her tight. We're going to get through this, he said. I promise. And for the first time in days, Mara believed him. They left before dawn. 3 people in one car driving north toward a future none of them could predict. Lily sat in the back seat, quiet and withdrawn. Mara sat in the passenger seat, watching the landscape blur past. And Cole drove, steady and focused, the way he did everything. Can I ask you something? Lily said after a few hours. Sure, Mara said. Do you ever wish you'd done things differently? That night with Uncle Marcus. Mara turned to look at her. Every single day. But you thought he was going to hurt you. I know, but that doesn't make it easier. Lily was quiet for a moment. I'm glad you survived. Me too, Mara said softly. They stopped for gas at a small station in the middle of nowhere. Cole went inside to pay while Mara and Lily stretched their legs. He really loves you, Lily said, watching Cole through the window. I know. You're lucky. Mara looked at her sister. You'll find someone too. Someday. Lily shook her head. I don't think I'm built for that. Love. Trust. All of it. Neither did I, Mara said. But it found me anyway. How did you know that he was the one? Mara thought about it. About those early mornings at the diner. About the way Cole had looked at her, like she was worth saving. He saw me, she said finally, the real me, all the broken, damaged parts. And he didn't run. Lily smiled. Just a little. That's beautiful. Yeah, Mara said. It is. Who's your favorite character so far? Mara, Cole, or Lily? Comment below. Down arrow. They reached the town just after midnight. It was small, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone and strangers stand out. They found a motel on the edge of town and checked in under fake names. We'll scout the property tomorrow, Cole said. During the day. Less suspicious. Agreed, Mara said. They settled into their rooms. Cole and Mara in one. Lily in the one next door. But sleep didn't come easy. Mara lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, while Cole breathed steadily beside her. You awake? She whispered. Yeah. I'm scared. Cole rolled over, pulled her close. Me too. What if we don't find anything? What if this is all for nothing? Then we figure out plan B. And if there is no plan B? Cole was quiet for a long moment. Then we run. Far away. Somewhere they'll never find us. And we start over. You'd really do that? Give up everything? For you, Cole said, in a heartbeat. Mara pressed her face against his chest. I don't deserve you. Yes, you do, he said firmly. Don't ever think you don't. The next morning, they drove to the address Lily had given them. It was a farmhouse, old, abandoned, surrounded by overgrown fields and trees that had seen better days. This is it, Cole asked. According to the records, Lily said they parked the car down the road and approached on foot. The front door was locked, but the back window was broken. Cole climbed through first, then helped Mara and Lily inside. The house smelled like dust and decay. Furniture covered in sheets. Pictures on the walls faded with time. Where do we start? Lily asked. Basement, Mara said. That's where my father kept things. Hidden. They found the basement door behind the kitchen. It creaked when they opened it. The stairs groaned under their weight. At the bottom, they found darkness. Cole pulled out a flashlight. The beam cut through the shadows, revealing boxes. Piles of them, all labeled with dates and names Mara didn't recognize. This is it, she whispered. This is everything. They spent hours going through the boxes. Files. Photos. Evidence of crimes that stretched back decades. This is enough to bring down half the criminal network on the East Coast, Cole said. And get us all killed in the process, Mara added. So what do we do? Lily asked. Mara looked at Cole. We make copies. Send them to every news outlet we can think of. Make it public before they can stop us. And then we run. But they weren't alone. As they carried the boxes up the stairs, they heard it. The sound of car doors closing. Footsteps on gravel. Voices. They found us, Lily whispered. Cole moved to the window, looked out, and his face went pale. How many? Mara asked. Too many. They were trapped. 5 men outside, all armed, all moving toward the house with purpose. Back door. Mara asked. Covered. Cole said. Windows. Same. Lily's hands were shaking. What do we do? Mara looked at the boxes, at the evidence they'd risked everything to find. We make a deal, she said. What? We tell them we'll give them the evidence in exchange for our lives. They'll never agree to that, Cole said. Maybe not, but it'll buy us time. Cole grabbed her arm. Mara, trust me, she said. Before he could respond, the front door exploded inward. The men stormed in like a military unit. Fast, efficient, deadly. They surrounded Mara, Cole, and Lily before anyone could move. And then a figure stepped through the doorway. Tall, dressed in an expensive suit, gray hair slicked back. He looked at Mara and smiled. Hello, Mara, he said. I've been looking for you for a very long time. Who are you? Mara demanded. My name is Victor Kane. He said, I worked with your father. before he betrayed us. He didn't betray anyone. He was trying to protect his family. Victor laughed. Is that what he told you? That he was the hero? Please. Your father was a coward. He stole from us, lied to us, and then he ran. What do you want? I want what's mine, Victor said. The evidence. All of it. And in return, I'll let you live. You're lying? Cole said. Victor turned to look at him. Am I? Because from where I'm standing, you don't have many options. Mara stepped forward. If we give you the evidence, how do we know you won't kill us anyway? You don't, Victor said simply. But it's the only chance you have. The room was silent except for the sound of breathing. Mara's mind raced. Every scenario ended the same way, with them dead. Unless... Okay, she said, you can have the evidence, but only after we're somewhere safe. Victor raised an eyebrow. You think you're in a position to negotiate. I think you need what's in those boxes more than you need us dead, Mara said. Otherwise, you would have killed us already. Victor studied her for a long moment. Then he smiled. Smart girl, he said, just like your father. I'm nothing like my father. We'll see about that. He gestured to his men. Bring them. And the boxes. They were taken to a warehouse on the edge of town. Concrete floors. Metal walls. The kind of place where screams wouldn't carry. Victor's men tied Mara, Cole, and Lily to chairs. Placed the boxes on a table in the center of the room. Now, Victor said, let's see what your father was hiding. He opened the first box, started sifting through the files, and as he read, his expression changed, from curiosity to anger to something darker. This is everything, he whispered. Every name, every transaction, every crime we've ever committed. That's the idea, Mara said. Victor looked at her. Do you have any idea what this information is worth? Enough to put you all in prison for the rest of your lives. Victor laughed. You think I'm going to let that happen? You think I'm going to let you walk out of here alive? You gave your word, Lily said. I lied. He pulled out a gun, aimed it at Mara, and that's when Cole moved. Cole's hands weren't tied as tightly as Victor's men thought. He'd been working them loose the entire ride, and the second Victor raised that gun, Cole lunged. The chair broke. Cole's shoulder slammed into Victor's chest. The gun went off, the bullet burying itself in the ceiling. Chaos erupted. Cole fought like a man possessed. Years of military training taking over. He disarmed one man, knocked out another. But there were too many. They grabbed him, forced him to the ground. And Victor stood over him, gun aimed at his head. Brave, Victor said. But stupid. No. Mara screamed. And then Lily did something no one expected. She stood up. Her ropes fell to the floor. She'd been picking at the knots with a piece of broken chair the entire time. And in her hand was a knife. Small. Sharp. Deadly. Let them go, Lily said. Victor turned to look at her. Or what? Or I destroy everything. She held up a lighter. Flicked it on. One spark, she said, and all those files burn. Everything you want. Gone. Victor's face went white. You wouldn't. Try me. The standoff lasted 30 seconds that felt like 30 years. And then Victor lowered his gun. Smart girl, he said again. Just like your father. Let them go, Lily repeated. Victor nodded to his men. They released Cole. Untied Mara. Now what? Victor asked. Now we walk out of here, Mara said. And you never come after us again. And the files? Stay here. We'll send someone to pick them up. Someone you can't touch. Victor's jaw tightened. But he nodded. Go, he said. Before I change my mind. They ran. Out of the warehouse. Into the street. Into Cole's car. They drove for hours. Didn't stop until they crossed the state line. And when they finally pulled over at a rest stop, Lily broke down crying. "I thought he was going to kill you," she sobbed. Mara pulled her into a hug. "You saved us. You were so brave." "I was terrified." "So was I," Mara said. "But we made it. We're alive." Cole joined the embrace, the three of them holding each other, exhausted and traumatized and grateful. "What now?" Lily asked. Mara looked at Cole. "Now we disappear. For real this time." They sent the files to a journalist they trusted, someone who'd built a career exposing corruption. Within a week, the story broke. Victor Kane and his entire network were arrested. Hundreds of criminals brought to justice. And Mara, Cole, and Lily became ghosts. They moved to a small town in Montana. Mountains, fresh air, the kind of place where the past couldn't reach them. Cole got a job at a garage. Mara started painting again, something she hadn't done since she was a child. And Lily enrolled in community college, studying to become a social worker. They built a life. Quiet, simple, safe. But the nightmares didn't stop. Mara would wake up in the middle of the night, gasping, convinced Victor had found them. Cole would have flashbacks, violent and vivid, that left him shaking and covered in sweat. And Lily would sit in her room, staring at the walls, wondering if she'd ever feel normal again. Healing wasn't linear. It was messy and painful and slow. But they had each other, and that made all the difference. A year passed, then another. Life became routine, beautiful in its simplicity. Mara and Cole got married in a small ceremony at the courthouse. Lily was the witness. They celebrated with pizza and cheap wine. It was perfect. And then, on a Tuesday afternoon in September, someone knocked on their door. Mara answered, and her heart stopped. Standing on the porch was a man she'd never thought she'd see again. Her father, Thomas Bennett, alive, real, older and thinner, and worn down by years of running, but alive. "Hello, Mara," he said quietly. Mara couldn't speak, couldn't move. Cole appeared behind her. "Who is this?" "My father," Mara whispered. They sat in the living room, tension thick enough to cut. Thomas looked at his daughters, at the life they'd built without him. "I know I have no right to be here," he said, "no right to ask for anything. But I needed to see you, to tell you the truth." "The truth?" Mara's voice was cold. "You mean the truth about how you let your brother die for you? How you abandoned me? How you destroyed my life? I was trying to protect you. By lying, by surviving." Thomas's voice cracked. "By making sure you had a chance at a life I could never give you. I didn't ask for that." "I know." Thomas stood up, his hands shaking. "I know. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Mara felt tears streaming down her face. "I killed him. Your brother. I killed an innocent man because of you." "No," Thomas said. "You killed a man who chose to die, who begged me to let him take my place so you and your mother would be safe. Marcus knew what he was doing, and he did it because he loved you." The words hit Mara like a physical blow. He knew about me? "He was your godfather," Thomas said. "He held you when you were born. He was the one who convinced me to leave the life, to try to be better. And when it all went wrong, he made the choice. Not me. Him." Mara sank to the floor, sobbing. Cole knelt beside her, holding her as she broke apart. Lily sat frozen, tears streaming down her own face. And Thomas stood there, watching the pain he'd caused, knowing there was nothing he could say to make it better. "I came here to tell you something," he said. "Finally, Victor Kane is dead. Heart attack. 2 months ago. The rest of his network is in prison. You're safe now. Really safe. Then why are you here?" Mara asked, because I wanted you to know that Marcus's sacrifice wasn't for nothing. Thomas said, you're alive. You're happy. You found love. That's what he wanted for you. That's what we both wanted. He turned to leave. Wait, Mara said. Thomas stopped. Do you want to stay for dinner? She asked quietly. Thomas turned back, surprise on his face. Are you sure? Mara looked at Cole. He nodded, looked at Lily. She nodded too. One dinner, Mara said. That's all I can promise right now. That's more than I deserve, Thomas said. Thank you. They ate together. Awkward at first, painful even. But slowly, the ice began to thaw. Thomas told them stories about Marcus, about the man Mara had killed, about his kindness, his humor, his unwavering loyalty. And with every story, Mara felt a piece of her guilt lift. Not all of it, maybe never all of it, but enough to breathe a little easier. When dinner was over, Thomas stood at the door. Can I come back sometime? He asked. Just to visit. Mara looked at Lily, at Cole, at the family she'd built from ashes and pain. Maybe, she said. We'll see. Thomas nodded. I'll take that. He walked away, disappearing into the night. And Mara closed the door, leaning against it, exhausted. You okay? Cole asked. I don't know, Mara said honestly. But I will be. Eventually. Cole pulled her close. We'll figure it out. Together. Together, Mara echoed. Because that's what they'd always done. Through danger. Through lies. Through pain. They'd survived. Together. And they'd keep surviving. No matter what came next. The end of part 2. If this story moved you, comment part 3 to see the final chapter of Mara and Cole's journey. And hit that subscribe button so you never miss another story. Thank you for being part of this incredible community. Your support changes everything.